Chase Lee Hockey with the Blue Futon, and technically for me, Sundance is over except for the awards that are going to come out on the 28th. But I watched 17 total movies. I slept on a couple of these movies to try to give a final score and rating of 17 to 1. Let me give you that order right now. So all I'm going to do is give you my order from 17 to 1 and the Rotten Tomatoes score right now with how many reviews are actually on it. So number 17, We Met in Virtual Reality. So right now this does have a 100% with 8 critics, and this is one of the movies I just did not like. Out of all the movies, there's only a very few where I'm like, I do not like this movie because of XYZ. This is a fine documentary, but I just didn't like where this is going with the world and kind of normalizing stuff. Like I said in my review before, lap dancing and VR and stuff like that. To me, it's just like we are going in society where it's just collapsing, and this is like almost perpetuating all that. I'll give you one thing though. This movie has some of the most downvotes that I could see, because I know you guys can't see how many people downvoted my video, but this one, ooh, it might break a record for all my videos. It was Identity, but We Met in VR is sure about to take that award. Number 16, I'm going with The Exiles. So this one doesn't have any reviews yet. There's only 3 of them on Rotten Tomatoes. All of them are positive. I think the problem with Exiles, it didn't know what it wanted to be. It didn't know if it wanted to be a movie about Tiananmen Square or Miss Cho. And I had a conversation with someone in the comment section about how she's like, oh, this helps people figure out what Tiananmen Square was. And the issue was, even Miss Cho in the documentary said no one in China is going to see this documentary because it's censored. So even if China doesn't know about it from 2017 when she went over there, how would they even know it when they even can't see this documentary? So who is this documentary for? And I wish they chose on a subject. Miss Cho or The Exiles. I feel like it was a switch back and forth, and I want to focus on one or the other. I'd rather focus on The Exiles, but then we went to Miss Cho's life as well, and like I said, I think the agenda for the directors was too out in the open, like I said in the review before. Number 15, I went with Nanny. This one has a 73% right now with 11 reviews. So Nanny, I was fine with this movie. It was a good movie, but with a lot of these movies that are on the bottom of the list, it's the third act that falters. Like, it's a good premise, good story, and everything like that, but for some reason, third act, it just flat. It is very flat, and you're like, that's how we're ending the movie. And I feel like that's what Nanny was. Great, lore of Western African, the spiders and the mermaids and stuff like that, but the movie just abruptly ended, and you're just like, what are we doing now? But I do think Nanny was an okay movie overall. Number 14, we're going with Watcher. And right now, this has a 78% with 23 reviews. Same with Nanny. You have this set up over and over and over and going, but then the payoff, you're just like, that's it. That's where we're stopping. So we're okay with just everything like that. I mean, the tension was there. Like I said, I like the Romanian aspect of like not being in subtitles where everyone is talking around her. And I like that because you're kind of in her shoes. But it's a very predictable movie as well. But like I said, at the very end, you're just like, third act, there's a third act bubble. So number 13 is Speak No Evil, and it has a 71% with 24 reviews. So with Speak No Evil, I had to sleep on it. I think it's a little better when I slept on it, but when I first saw it, I did not like it because I didn't like the weakness of the characters of this family willing just to give up. I mean, literally just give up because these people's like, oh, I told you to do it and you just did it and you're kind of weakling. Then I realized that might be a algorithm, if you want to put it that way, or allegory for everything that's happening in the world today, where people are just willing to give up and be like, okay, be like sheep. And I feel like that's kind of like what it was trying to be. But I had to sleep on it, and it made me think. The emotions on that one my emotions were high on that one. But like I said, the third act still, it just abruptly happens, and it's just like the payoff. I don't know if it's there overall. Number 12, You Won't Be Alone. This one has an 83% with 24 reviews. So this one is another one that's kind of growing on me because I think the story is very rich, and the lore as well of this witch going through people's bodies and trying to understand life, because that's the only way she can. And like I said, it was an interesting movie, and I can understand why people didn't like it, but it's an okay movie. It's kind of growing on me, just how it's filmed and witch trying to understand what human life is and just trying to have a baby and stuff like that. And I mean, it's a good story, but like I said, it kind of like drags of like, okay, you're going to this character and then this character and then this character and this character. It's like, what's the overall goal? And you kind of see it, but I don't know. It felt like something was wishy-washy in this one in the second act. Number 11, Resurrection. This one has an 81% with 27 reviews. I have nothing wrong with the acting of Tim Roth and Rebecca Hall at all. But the problem with this movie is I just don't believe her character and if this movie is actually quote unquote really happening. And what I mean by that is like, what is her figment of her imagination or what is absolutely real? My biggest issue, like I said in the review, is her willing to abandon her daughter just like that after 22 years and this Ben character. I just don't believe it at all. Just my opinion, but Resurrection, it sure as shit kept me entertained of what was happening next. That's for damn sure. Number 10, we have Piggy. And this one's 100%, but this one only has 6 reviews. So this one, like I said, my cynical side of me wanted a Bonnie and Clyde type of movie. That is not what I got, but it was still a fun time. You felt the emotions of the main girl, Sarah, and you just wanted these bullies to fail. So, yeah, you're going to have some mixed reactions of, are you going to like the ending or not? Same with the third act. Issue with this one, there's a build-up, and all of a sudden, just third act just happens, and it's very short-sighted. And I'm like, oh, that's how we're ending it again? But like I said, Piggy, though, it had good humor. The acting was great. The emotions was there, and it was a good conflict of interest story. Where like, what would I do? Could I do that? Number 9, I'm going with Emergency. This one has a 97% with 37 of them. So I enjoyed the heck out of this movie, but the more I think about it, there's a little bit too much heavy-handedness in some aspects, as well as Carlos's character. There's a scene in the forest where they're talking about, yo, you're being a pussy. And then he comes in saying, well, actually, a pussy's a very... And you're just like, yeah, now's not the time. Now is not the time for you to make this random-ass joke. And it just didn't work. And other jokes when they find the girl and he says some stuff and you're just like, what? So that Carl's character really was a falter for me in this movie. The two main characters, absolutely amazing. And I didn't like the end, how they just kept, like, you know, hammering the head. It's like, okay, we get it from what happened in the van when they got to the hospital. We completely understand what they're going with. And then when you had the final speech, completely understand. But then they just kept going and kept going and kept going. So you're like, okay, when are we stopping? Number 8 is 892. So this one actually has a 77% right now on Rotten Tomato with 31 reviews. So this one's kind of creeping up with me because it's a true story of everything happening in the world right now, as well as just some crazy shots that just still stuck with me. Especially, like I said, the carpet, blood, and robot dog. Put it that way, the bomb sniffing, you know, robot. That shot still sticks with me of like, damn, this shit's real. Like that image right there. But the acting was great. The story was great. It kept you entertained of what was happening, and it was very believable. And you're just like, yeah. I mean, it is believable since it happened in 2007. It is based on a true story. But yeah. So with 897 and Emergency, I was switching back and forth on which one's better. But I think 897 edges it out just because the tone is more consistent and it was just more... It was more grounded, honestly. All right, number 7, we're going with Fresh. This one has an 82% with 56 reviews. So with Fresh, I dig the movie. I dig the dark comedy. I dig the horror. I dig the camera angles and everything like that to a point. The problem is there's just too much weirdness of like the dance scene at the end. Like it was like, why is this in there? And there are some dragging moments with the second and third act, but it is bonkers. I love where the credits roll like at the 37-minute mark and then everything happening in between of like, I know we're kind of forgetting about a butt. That's all I'm going to say. They're forgetting about a butt. But it is something that we could just watch and just have a good time with it. But like I said, there are faults with this one. I won't lie. Fresh, 892, Emergency, and Piggy, those 4, 7 through 10 was hard, guys. 7 through 10 was very hard. Those could be in any order, honestly. Everything else, I kind of feel comfortable with. Number 6, we're going with Worst Person in the World. This has a 99% with 85 of them. The reason it has the most reviews, if you want to put it that way, because this is put in a lot more festivals in 2021. But the worst person in the world, this is another one that's kind of growing with me and how realistic it is and how we are a society of like not knowing what you want to do. And there are some gorgeous shots of with a light switch and time freezing. Love that scene. It is such a fantastically well shot film with that aspect. And yeah, overall, it's a great film. People are saying it's the best foreign film of the year. That's one of the ones I've only seen, so I can kind of agree with that. But it is a fantastically shot film. Some chapters in the movie I think could have disappeared, but other than that, I enjoyed this movie. Number 5, we're going with Duel. So this is weird that this was number 5 because this one actually has an issue with the third act as well. But this has an 82% with 38 reviews. The thing with Duel is I was dying laughing. I was entertained throughout the whole movie except the last, 10 minutes. Because the last 10 minutes wasn't believable. It was anticlimactic. I was like, come on now. I mean, if we're really this smart at making clones and then having a constitution for it, it shouldn't be that hard to just do a little bit of, digging to figure out what has happened at all. Because there's one dialogue about her driving a car that someone should have been like, just automatically red flag. What does that even mean? There's no way. But I just had a great time with this movie, and it made you think about life in general. I mean, it's the same type of ending as Art of Self-Defense, if you've seen that one. But Duel, it is number 5. Issue with Duel, though, I could see it dropping. But right now, after, seeing 17 movies back to back to back, it is number 5. Number 4, it is going to be, in my opinion, the best documentary of Sundance, Fire of Love. Right now, this is a 100% with 21 of them. National Geographic's documentary just bought this film. I could see this one making it to the Academy Awards for Best Documentary, at least a nomination for sure. But it's a great story about a volcano, a French couple, and everything like that. I guess I'm not going to repeat everything from my review, but the shots was absolutely gorgeous. And the transfer of game to what it looks like today, it's awe-inspiring. This is an awe-inspiring documentary, hands down. All right, we are going in our top 3. Number 3, After Yang. This has an 81% with 53 of them. Something about this, about loss, just totally stuck with me. And how it was filmed, people say it's a little bit slow paced. I have to disagree. Everything it flowed. Everything about knowing who Yang is. Colin Farrell's character, Jodie Turner-Smith's character, Cliff and Colin Jr.'s, even though he's in it for a little bit, but each character plays a part miraculously. You see the memories of Yang. You just see what is the world coming to of how, if you want to adopt someone from China, why does that person from China have to have a robot? I mean, don't the parents kind of need to, form the child for who this child is going to be? Because, you might be from a country, but you're raised somewhere else. So you kind of, know where you're from, but also know where you're going. That might be an algorithm or an allegory that I'm just seeing, but After Yang did stick with me about loss and what do you lose? What do other people see that you don't? And it makes you think really well. All right, number 2, we're going with Hatching. To me, this is the best midnight release. This is 100% right now with 21 on Rotten Tomato. This is bonkers. This is a bonkers, fantastic finished movie that works on all levels. Like I said in my review before, the director wanted to make this a female-centric character. 100% needed to happen. It was a lot better than having a male-centric boy being the doppelganger. But the sound design, fantastic. The way the sets are, fantastic. How it ends, very sinister. Hatching is by far, and I love the CGI was absolutely very minimal, and it was all puppeteering. I love that style of filmmaking. Hatching is the best midnight, whatever category it's in. I hope it wins that one. All right, number 1 is Something in the Dirt. This has 94% Rotten Tomato with 17 reviews. I love these style of movies where you have to research what you're doing from A to B to C. They had a centralized location, and they know they wanted to do it at the centralized location, so what can they do to connect the dots for the story they're trying to do with crystals, geometry, Pythagorean theorem, the history of LA, 1908, and how they formed that story. I just absolutely loved it. I was so entertained with this movie from top to bottom. This was the longest Sundance movie I watched, and it felt like the shortest because I was entertained so much in this movie. Something in the Dirt, please dig this one out because I truly think that is the best movie of Sundance. Will it win the award? Absolutely not, But like I said, this is my list of top 17. And like I said before, let me know what you think. Go to my reviews, do some comments, put the like button, put the dislike button. I don't care, but I prefer the like button. I will answer the comments, I promise you. The problem with everyone's downvoting We Met in VR, I'm getting no comments of why you're downvoting it. Let me know why you think I'm crazy for doing a rant. And for Exiles, why do you think I gave it such a low score? And like I said, there's one comment. I gave a good paragraph for it. But it feels like every time I bash, where the society's going nowadays, and kind of scares me, as well as every time I criticize China, I get the most downvotes. What is that? Anyway, chase the hack with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about Blue Futon Utopia. You Blue Futonians, thank you for watching. Have a great day. And the last Sundance video will be when the awards come out, and it'll be a complete, what I think the snubs and surprises are. But hey, thank you for watching. Let's get to 700 subscribers. I believe all of you. I love all of you, even though if we disagree. Because you know what? That what makes the world turns. We all cannot have the same opinion. We cannot.